What if I told you your dog understands you better than most humans ever will? Not your words, not your explanations, but your feelings. The stress you hide, the sadness you don't talk about, the emotions you don't even realize you're carrying. Your dog already knows. Science now confirms something dog lovers have felt for years. Dogs don't just react to us. They read us, our voice, our body, our breath, even the chemical changes in our emotions. Long before we speak, long before we break, they sense it. That's why your dog comes closer on your worst days. That's why they grow quiet when you're overwhelmed. That's why their eyes feel like they're looking through you. This isn't coincidence. And it's not just love. It's emotional intelligence, shaped by thousands of years of evolution, side by side with humans. In this video, we're uncovering the hidden world of how dogs understand human emotions, far deeper than we ever imagined. From groundbreaking science to everyday moments you've probably experienced but never fully understood. By the end of this journey, you'll never see your dog the same way again. Because when a dog looks at you, they don't just see you, they feel you. Let's begin. They know before you speak, before you say a single word, before your voice cracks, before your face fully shows it. Your dog already knows. This isn't poetry. This is science, behavior, and thousands of quiet moments we usually ignore. Dogs don't just hear us, they read us. Picture this. You come home after a rough day. You don't cry, you don't shout, you don't even sigh loudly. Yet your dog walks straight up to you, sits closer than usual, maybe rests their head on your leg, or looks at you with that deep, almost human concern. That's not coincidence. That's emotional intelligence. Dogs evolved alongside humans for over 30,000 years. During that time, they didn't just learn how to hunt with us or guard our homes. They learned how to survive by understanding our moods. A happy human meant safety. An angry or sad human meant change, danger, or uncertainty. Over generations, dogs became experts at reading tiny emotional signals most humans don't even notice in each other. Your posture, the tension in your shoulders, the speed of your steps, the way you close a door. To a dog, these are loud emotional messages. Research shows that dogs can recognize human facial expressions, especially happiness, anger, fear, and sadness. When shown photos of human faces, dogs react differently based on the emotion, around smiles, more alert around anger. But here's the mind-blowing part. Dogs don't just react visually, they smell emotions. When humans feel stress, fear, or sadness, the body releases chemical changes through sweat and breath. Dogs can detect these changes instantly. To them, your emotions literally have a scent. That's why your dog may act nervous when you're anxious, even if you're pretending everything is fine. They're not guessing, they're sensing. And unlike humans, dogs don't judge emotions. They don't ask why you're sad. They don't rush to fix you. They simply stay close, offering presence instead of solutions. That's why their comfort feels pure. In this series, we're going to uncover how dogs understand human emotions far deeper than we ever imagined through science, real-life stories, and behaviors you see every day but may never fully understand. This is just the beginning, because once you realize how deeply your dog feels you, you'll never look at their eyes the same way again. The language you didn't know you were speaking. You may think your dog understands you because of words like sit, stay, or come. But here's the truth. Words are the least important part of what your dog hears. Dogs listen to how you speak, not just what you say. Your voice carries emotional fingerprints. Tiny shifts in tone, rhythm, volume, and pitch reveal your inner state long before your brain forms a sentence. And dogs are masters at decoding this hidden language. Studies using brain scans have shown that dogs process human voices in a way strikingly similar to humans. Certain areas of a dog's brain respond specifically to emotional tones: joy, anger, calm, fear. When you speak softly, their brain lights up in comfort. When your voice sharpens, even slightly, their alert system activates. That's why your dog can sense your mood even when your words are positive. You say, "I'm fine," but your voice says, "I'm not." Your dog believes the voice. Even silence speaks. When you move around quietly, breathing heavier than usual, avoiding eye contact, or speaking less, your dog notices the emotional shift. To them, silence isn't empty, it's loud with meaning. Dogs also react to emotional consistency. If your words say one thing and your tone says another, your dog follows the tone. Always. That's why scolding a dog in a playful voice confuses them, and praising them with a flat tone doesn't land. They're not being stubborn, they're being honest listeners. This ability goes beyond simple obedience. Dogs can distinguish between happy laughter and angry shouting. Even when both are loud, they can sense nervous excitement versus genuine joy. And over time, they learn your personal emotional patterns, how you sound when you're tired, stressed, hopeful, or heartbroken. In many homes, dogs become emotional mirrors. When stress fills the room, dogs become restless. When calm returns, they relax. Their behavior often reflects the emotional climate more accurately than any conversation. This is why dogs make powerful therapy companions. They don't need explanations. They respond directly to emotional signals, offering grounding presence when humans feel overwhelmed. So the next time your dog reacts to you in a way that surprises you, listen closely, not to your words, but to your voice. Because to your dog, you're always speaking. Your body never lies. You might control your words. You might hide your face. But your body, it tells the truth every time. And your dog is watching. Long before humans learned to read facial expressions, dogs were already experts at decoding movement, posture, and physical energy. For them, body language isn't a detail, it's the main conversation. Think about how your dog reacts when you're angry. Your voice might stay calm. Your face might stay neutral, but your shoulders tense. Your steps get heavier. Your movements become sharp instead of smooth. Your dog notices instantly. Dogs read emotional states through micro-movements, tiny changes most humans ignore. A stiff spine signals stress. Slumped shoulders signal sadness. Fast, jerky hand motions signal agitation. Slow, fluid movement signals safety. This skill comes from their survival instincts. In the wild, missing a body cue could mean danger. Over thousands of years living beside humans, dogs transferred this instinct directly onto us. That's why dogs often respond to how you approach them rather than what you say. Walk toward a dog confidently but relaxed, and they stay calm. walk toward them tense or rushed, and they pull back even if you're smiling. Your emotional state shapes your physical energy, and dogs read that energy like a map. Eye contact plays a huge role too. Direct, intense staring can feel threatening to dogs, especially when paired with stiffness. Soft glances, blinking, and relaxed facial muscles signal trust and calm. This is also why dogs can sense when something is off with a person. A guest might sound friendly, but if their movements are unpredictable or tense, your dog may remain cautious. They're not being dramatic. They're reading the truth. Dogs also recognize patterns. They know how you move when you're happy versus exhausted. They know your normal walk and your bad day walk. They even pick up on how you sit, lie down, or fidget when your emotions shift. This awareness creates deep emotional bonds. Dogs don't love an idea of you, they love the real, physical version of you in every emotional state. So when your dog stays close during hard moments, it's not because they understand your problems. It's because your body told them you needed support. They remember how you felt. Dogs don't remember life the way humans do. They don't replay conversations. They don't relive scenes word by word. But they remember emotions with incredible clarity. For a dog, memory is emotional, not narrative. Every interaction you share, every walk, every argument, every quiet night gets stored as a feeling. Over time, those feelings become powerful associations. A place, a sound, a person, even a time of day can carry emotional weight for your dog. That's why a dog might suddenly become anxious in a room where nothing seems wrong to you. To them, that space holds an emotional memory stress, fear, or tension that once lived there. Science calls this associative memory. Dogs connect emotions to experiences far more strongly than they connect facts or details. If you are calm and loving during training, your dog feels safe learning. If you were frustrated or impatient, your dog remembers the discomfort even if you don't. This is also why dogs never forget how someone made them feel. A person who consistently brings calm, kindness, and patience becomes a trusted presence. A person who brings chaos, loudness, or unpredictability becomes a source of caution. It's not personal, it's emotional memory doing its job. And here's something beautiful. Dogs remember your emotions even when you change. If you once struggled, felt lost, or carried heavy stress, your dog didn't judge you for it. They adapted to it. And when your emotional energy improves, they notice that shift too. Their behavior often changes, with yours becoming more playful, more relaxed, more open. Dogs also use emotional memory to protect you. If a situation once made you anxious, your dog may become alert the next time you enter something similar, not because they understand danger logically, but because they remember how you felt. This emotional memory is what creates loyalty that feels almost spiritual. Dogs aren't loyal because you feed them. They're loyal because they remember safety, love, and consistency in your presence. So when your dog greets you like you've been gone forever even, after a short absence, it's not just excitement, it's recognition. Recognition of how you make them feel when their heart matches yours. Have you ever noticed this? When you're calm, your dog seems calmer. When you're stressed, your dog becomes restless. When you're sad, your dog grows quiet and stays close. That's not imagination. That's emotional synchronization. Dogs don't just understand human emotions, they often align with them. Researchers have observed that dogs can match their emotional state to the humans they're bonded with. Heart rate, stress levels, and behavior patterns in dogs often rise and fall in rhythm with their owner's emotions. Over time, this creates something powerful: emotional attunement. In simple words, your dog tunes into your emotional frequency. This connection forms through daily life, shared routines, shared spaces, shared silence. Dogs learn what your calm feels like, what your anxiety feels like, and what your joy feels like. And once they learn it, their nervous system responds automatically. That's why a peaceful home creates a peaceful dog. And it's why long-term stress in humans can lead to behavioral issues in dogs: restlessness, barking, clinginess, or withdrawal. Not because the dog is misbehaving, but because they're emotionally absorbing the environment. Dogs evolved to stay emotionally close to humans because survival depended on it. Staying in sync with human moods helped them anticipate changes: movement, danger, rest, or safety. This synchronization goes both ways. Just as your emotions affect your dog can affect you. Studies show that petting a dog lowers human cortisol, stress hormone, and increases oxytocin, the bonding hormone in both the dog and the human. It's a shared chemical calm. That's why sitting quietly with your dog can feel grounding without a single word spoken. Your dog isn't trying to fix you, they're matching you. In moments of grief, dogs often become gentler. In moments of joy, they become playful. In moments of stillness, they settle beside you, breathing in the same rhythm. This is emotional partnership, not ownership. And here's the quiet truth: dogs don't synchronize with everyone. They synchronize with their person, the one they trust, observe, and emotionally invest in. So when your dog mirrors your emotions, it's not weakness, it's loyalty at the deepest level. When you break, they come closer. There's a moment many dog owners never forget: the first time they cried in front of their dog. No commands, no training, no signal, just tears. And somehow, the dog knew exactly what to do. Dogs respond to human emotional pain in ways that feel deeply intentional. When a person cries, many dogs approach slowly, sit close, lick the face or hands, rest their head on the person's body, or simply stay nearby in silence. This isn't random comfort, it's emotional response. Studies show that dogs can distinguish crying from laughing or talking. Even when the volume is similar, crying triggers concern-related behaviors: alertness, proximity, and gentle contact. To a dog, tears signal emotional distress, not noise. But what's fascinating is why they respond. Dogs are sensitive to both sound and scent during emotional moments. Crying changes breathing patterns, facial muscles, and releases stress-related chemicals. Dogs detect this shift instantly and interpret it as a call for closeness. Not to escape, not to play, but to support. Many dogs also place themselves physically between their person and the environment during emotional breakdowns. This behavior mirrors protective instincts, creating a sense of safety during vulnerability. They don't understand the reason for your pain. They understand the pain itself. Dogs also learn from experience. If they've seen seen that staying close during sadness brings calm or relief. They repeat that behavior over time. This becomes instinctive caregiving. That's why dogs in therapy and support roles often respond faster to emotional distress than to spoken cues. They're trained to recognize breakdowns not by words, but by emotional markers. What feels magical is actually deeply biological and deeply relational. Dogs don't fear tears the way humans sometimes do. They don't rush you. They don't offer advice. They don't ask you to be strong. They allow you to be broken safely. That's why many people feel more comfortable crying in front of a dog than another human. Your dog isn't uncomfortable with your sadness. They're drawn to it. They feel it before you do. Sometimes your dog reacts before you even understand what you're feeling. You're walking, thinking everything is normal, and suddenly your dog slows down, stays closer, looks up at you with concern. Nothing has happened yet, but inside you, something has already shifted. Dogs are incredibly skilled at sensing early emotional changes often. Before those emotions become conscious thoughts, humans experience emotions in stages. First, the body reacts, then the mind catches up. Dogs live in that first stage. A slight change in breathing, a subtle rise in heart rate, a shift in muscle tension. These are invisible to us but not to dogs. Dogs constantly scan their environment for changes. That includes you. They pick up on physiological signals tied to emotions long before you label them as stress, fear, or sadness. That's why some dogs seem to predict panic attacks, emotional crashes, or moments of overwhelm. They aren't psychic. They're reading the body's warning signs. This ability is so reliable that dogs are trained to assist people with anxiety disorders, PTSD, and emotional dysregulation. They alert their handlers before emotional episodes fully arrive by nudging, leaning, or interrupting behavior. What feels mysterious is actually heightened awareness. Dogs also sense emotional buildup. If stress has been quietly accumulating over days or weeks, dogs often change their behavior, becoming clingier, more watchful, or more protective. They're responding to the emotional trajectory, not just the moment. And here's something subtle but important. Dogs don't wait for emotional permission. They don't need tears, shouting, or visible breakdowns. They respond to the earliest signals because that's when support matters most. In the wild, early detection of emotional or physical distress could mean survival. That instinct never left them. This early awareness also explains why dogs sometimes react when you try to suppress emotions. Suppression doesn't stop the body. It often makes signals stronger, and dogs notice immediately. So when your dog checks in on you for no obvious reason, it's not boredom or habit. It's concern. They felt the shift before you named it. The instinct to protect your feelings. Protection isn't always about teeth, barking, or standing between you and danger. Sometimes protection is emotional. Dogs don't just guard homes, they guard states of being. When they sense emotional vulnerability, many dogs shift into a protective mode that's quiet, deliberate, and deeply intentional. You might notice it when your dog positions themselves closer than usual, or when they follow you from room to room during hard days, or when they place their body against yours, as if creating a barrier between you and the world. This isn't attention-seeking, it's emotional guarding. Dogs evolved to protect members of their pack who were injured, weak, or distressed. Emotional vulnerability triggers the same instinct as physical vulnerability. To a dog, pain is pain whether it's visible or internal. That's why dogs often become alert around unfamiliar people when their owner is stressed or upset. Your dog may stand taller, watch more closely, or place themselves slightly in front of you. They're not reacting to the person, they're reacting to your emotional state. Dogs also adjust their behavior to avoid adding stress. Playful dogs may become calmer. Vocal dogs may quiet down. High-energy dogs may slow their pace. They're making space for your emotional recovery. This sensitivity is why dogs are often described as protective without aggression. Their goal isn't conflict, it's stability. In some cases, dogs even change their sleeping patterns during emotionally intense periods. They stay closer at night, wake more easily, or check on you more often. To them, rest is when vulnerability is highest. Protection also shows up in small, easily missed ways. A dog choosing to lie at your feet instead of across the room. A dog watching your face while you talk to someone else. A dog refusing to leave your side when you're not feeling like yourself. These are not trained behaviors. They're instinctive responses to emotional signals. Dogs don't understand your problems, but they understand when you are not okay. And their response is to stand with you, not ask you to stand alone. They forgive what we can't. Humans carry emotions like luggage. We replay moments. We remember tone. We hold on to words spoken in stress. Dogs don't do that. Dogs feel emotions deeply, but they don't store resentment the way humans do. This is one of the most misunderstood and most beautiful parts of their emotional intelligence. When a human is stressed, overwhelmed, or emotionally reactive, dogs sense the tension immediately. They may withdraw, grow quiet, or give space. But once the emotional storm passes, something remarkable happens. They reset. Dogs live in emotional truth, not emotional grudges. If you raise your voice once out of exhaustion, your dog doesn't label you as angry forever. If you're distant for a few days because life is heavy, your dog doesn't assume abandonment. They wait. They observe, and when calm returns, they respond with the same openness as before. This doesn't mean dogs forget emotional experiences. It means they forgive emotional states when safety returns. From a biological standpoint, dogs evolved to prioritize current emotional conditions over past conflict. Holding on to fear or resentment inside a trusted pack would disrupt survival. Forgiveness, for dogs, is regulation. That's why dogs can bounce back emotionally faster than humans. They don't overthink. They don't narrate pain. They feel it fully, then let it move through them. This also explains why dogs respond so strongly to apologies. Even though they don't understand the words, a softer tone, slower movements, and emotional openness tell them everything they need to know. To a dog, repair matters more than perfection. And this forgiveness isn't weakness. It's emotional intelligence at its purest. Dogs understand that emotions change, that stress passes, that love returns. So they don't punish you for moments when you're not your best self. They meet you where you are again and again. This is why dogs often help humans heal emotionally. They model a way of being that doesn't require constant emotional armor. They show what it looks like to feel without clinging. When your dog greets you with joy after a hard day, they're not ignoring the past. They're choosing the present. When they look at you, They see the real you. When a dog looks at you, they don't see your job title. They don't see your past mistakes. They don't see the image you tried to protect. They see your emotional truth. After everything we've explored, voice, body language, scent, memory, synchronization, protection, and forgiveness, one thing becomes clear. Dogs don't connect to who we pretend to be. They connect to who we are in each moment. That's why the bond feels so deep. Dogs understand us not through logic, but through presence. They feel the rhythm of our emotions, the rise and fall of our inner world. When we're grounded, they relax. When we are struggling, they stay closer. When we heal, they celebrate without asking why. To a dog, love isn't conditional on perfection. It's conditional on connection. This is why dogs don't abandon you during emotional lows. They don't demand explanations or improvements. They stay not because they're trained to, but because emotional loyalty is built into their nature. When your dog curls up beside you, they're not thinking about tomorrow. They're choosing now. And in a world where humans constantly live in the past or future, that presence is powerful. Dogs teach us something quietly profound. Emotions don't need to be fixed to be honored. They don't rush us through pain. They don't avoid sadness. They don't fear vulnerability. They respond to it. And maybe that's why being with a dog feels like being understood without speaking. In their eyes, there's no judgment, only awareness. No pressure, only acceptance. This is not coincidence. It's a relationship shaped by thousands of years of shared evolution and trust. So the next time your dog looks at you with those steady, knowing eyes, remember this. They aren't just looking at you, they're feeling you. And in a world that often misunderstands human emotions, your dog understands you better than you think, exactly as you are.